Hello my fellow handsome gentlemen, I'm Piotr from Improvement and welcome to my comparison video of Acqua Di Gio Profumo versus Acqua Di Gio Profondo. In this video I'm going to talk about which one I would recommend to which type of person, compare the performance, projection, sillage, price and overall scent profile. And of course I'm going to tell you the ratings of the individual two if you don't know them already, and in the end tell you which one I prefer the most. Let's start with the scent profile. When talking about the scent profile of the two fragrances, I want to quickly mention that these are of course flankers of the original Acqua Di Gio, so they're going to be interconnected with each other because of the scent DNA that they share, but they both have their small similarities and differences. The main differences that I'm going to mention are that Profondo is slightly more aquatic and oceanic, whereas Profumo is slightly darker, a little aromatic, and of course a little less aquatic. These two fragrances, if you didn't know already, are very fresh, clean, citrusy and slightly ozonic, oceanic fragrances, where Profumo has this incense accord in the base that makes it slightly smoked out, dark and slightly more complex than Profondo, whereas Profondo is a little lighter, easier to wear, even though these two fragrances are very easy to wear on a daily basis. But Profondo has sea notes and mineralic notes, and these notes give this fragrance a much more aquatic, oceanic feel that makes you think of being on a beach or in the middle of the ocean on a boat. So these fragrances are of course very similar in nature but have slight differences that make them stand out from each other. So if you want something slightly darker, I would prefer to recommend you Profumo, and if you want something slightly more ozonic, slightly lighter and fresher, I think Profondo is the one you would go for. Something that I want to mention about the two is their price points. And these two fragrances, if you want a 40 ml bottle, you're going to find them for the majority of the time between $80 to $90. So not very cheap, but not on the very high price point area. And the thing I want to talk about when mentioning price is that Profumo has unfortunately been discontinued officially because of the brand new release Acqua Di Gio Parfum, and that means that Profumo is being completely thrown out the water and replaced by Parfum, and that means that Profumo is going to be slightly more difficult to get your hands on, even though the price points are going to be very similar between the two. So that is something I want you to consider when thinking about which of these two you want to pick up. Profondo is going to be much more accessible and possibly cheaper in some places where you might find it than Profumo because of its discontinuation and possibly higher demand. Now let's move over to performance, which is going to be longevity, projection and sillage. Longevity wise, these two last 7 to 9 hours on my skin. The 7 to 9 hour mark is what I get typically from the majority of Acqua Di Gio fragrances, which I think is very decent for the type of fragrances that these are and for the price that you're going to pay for them for the majority of the time. Projection wise, I think that Profumo is slightly stronger in the first 30 minutes, but whenever these two get to dry, the projection is around the same. Nothing astonishing, but still not quite a complete skin scent for the majority of the time. There's a little bit of moderate inconsistent projection going on, but these are not going to give anyone a headache at all. And sillage wise, I think that these two fragrances go very much head to head. I think that these have very similar sillage going on. That means that if someone gets a whiff of this, they're most likely also going to get a whiff of Profumo as well. So these two fragrances performance wise overall go very much hand in hand with each other. Now I want to talk about which of these two I find to be my favorite and actually tell you the ratings that I give these two fragrances. The majority of people out there on the internet, especially slightly younger people, tend to prefer Profondo because of its slightly more modern aquatic nature, whereas as people that are slightly older will most likely prefer Profumo because of its slightly more complex and darker nature because of the incense accord in the base. This is slightly more versatile and slightly more complex in my personal opinion. Personally, I prefer Profumo, but these two are very hard to actually choose a favorite between. And rating wise, I have given Acqua Di Gio Profondo an 8.8 out of 10 and Profumo has gotten an 8.9 out of 10. So I prefer Profumo just a little bit more than Profondo, but both of these are amazing. So overall, if you want something slightly more airy, fresh, and possibly something slightly more bright and oceanic, I think that Profondo is something for you. But if you want something slightly darker, more versatile, slightly more masculine, and a little bit more complex, Profumo is something for you. Gentlemen, which one of these two fragrances do you prefer the most? Comment down below. I would be more than happy to see your comments down there. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to the Men's Improvement YouTube channel for more videos about fragrances, grooming, style, fashion, skincare, anything that will make you, gentlemen, the best possible versions of yourself. The last thing that I want to ask you, gentlemen, is to smile more, because it's free, and I want you to watch my comparison video of Profumo and the Eau de Parfum. I think that video is something that you might enjoy. Have an awesome day, gentlemen.